And my question is concerning the Freedom Society sermon and vision that you have, and specifically the role of the transition of the government has gone from servitude to master. And I really liked how you discussed that for the first time. And I guess my question is what is the church's plan on how to take direct action and helping in that process? Because that's that the battle of freedom is waging hard right now, and it's frustrating for a long time because the church never participated, and I'm anxious to see the participation and excited.
Excuse me for interrupting. The Washington Times Father foresaw this a long time ago, and I have been out trying to get people to take the weekly subscription. But I work for Texas Instruments, and so we have a tough crowd of engineers and scientists, okay?
I love the discussion portion.
But when they start reading that.
Yeah, but no, what you're saying I think is really, really real. America's hanging in a balance. There is no movement that can, look how close the polls are right now. And we only have 40 plus days. And this election is so providentially important, so important. As you say, it's so worrisome. We're another 4 years of $6 trillion in debt. America's not going to recover. You're going to be so weak in front of China, who's rising, just exponentially rising. And if China's on top, it's totally different. There's a huge difference between number one and number two. It sets the tone for the century, sets the tone for the world. America's got to be number one. It's got to be the strongest. It's got to be the pillar of strength. And there is no religion, there is no faith that has a complete theology that explains freedom as God's essential gift to humanity. That explains the freedom and responsibility that God gives us, and the proper position of archangel. I mean, this is what's so exciting. There's no religion that clarifies this, absolutely none. So in terms of this election, I've never voted in my life. I'm going to vote this time because I'm that worried about America. It's life or death, seriously. America, another 4 years of this, we will be really belittled in the world community. So I absolutely feel what you're feeling. It's so essential that us as a faith community, we're going out and making a change in the nation, especially with this upcoming election. To fight for freedom and to fight to bring God back to the center. And I absolutely feel that is so important. We're the only ones that can do it. We're the only ones. We're that 1% that can make that swing difference. So I think it's so essential for unification is to understand true Father wanted to create the kingdom on earth, not in theory. We have, change the world. We can do that. We have the theology to do that. Now it's clarified, so absolutely I think it's really, really essential. Yeah, does that help?
Well, yeah, it does.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We'll distribute, all the Freedom Society material to you guys, and so that the local churches, you guys can teach it along with principle. And also, we hope that just as private citizens, everybody's just getting excited about this election because everybody's got to go out and, fight for freedom. So I think hopefully all the members can feel that kind of private individual responsibility to make a difference. Get America back on track. America must be number one. It must be number one for the next century. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. What was that?
Do you think it's possible to be number one again without restoring the legality of the Constitution?
No, we have to get back. We have to get back to the founding principles. We can't become, road Russia or something, socialist state. We've got to get back to the founding principles. That's what's exciting about the Freedom Society, is that it outlines what true socialism is. Because Father does talk about sharing and taking care of each other. See, this is, I had a question yesterday, a brother who lived in Europe. I think he is Europe, he's Czechoslovakian. He lived under communist dictatorships. And then he lived in multiple countries. And he asked me, how do you see, what is socialism? The wonderful thing about Freedom Society is that it explains true socialism. You see, because in a truly free state, where you don't have a nanny state, I gave the example to him about the work that Walter Williams has done out of George Mason University on race and economics, and he's an African American. He focuses in on African American issues, and he shows that many liberals will say, the black family was destroyed by slavery. But what he shows is that actually statistically, when you look at it, up to the early 1900s, and particularly before the nanny state of FDR, you have 8 out of 10 black families intact. 8 out of 10, dad and mom, is there. You have with the huge welfare state system, in order to get welfare, you have to, the husband cannot be present in the home. So of course, what happens is divorce rates rise, skyrocket. You have also situations, because there's no dad in the home, increased teenage pregnancy. You have increased teenage male crime. And then now you have a situation where an intact black families are only 3 out of 10. And so what happens is what Walter Williams talks about as government took the position of the father.
That's right.
And basically wooed the women in kicking their husbands out. And in doing that, you have all these breakdowns. You have family breakdown, you have marriage breakdown, then you have, of course, out of that's coming the gay movement, there's a movement, of course, marrying animals. There's also a movement marrying yourself. Now, so you have all this wackiness coming out because Satan can, once he invades the 4% foundation, destroys that, all sorts of craziness comes out. But see, in a truly free world, where you don't have that nanny state, you see, you have true socialism that occurs. You have the two main organizations that provide welfare. Number one, you have the family is the owner of that. And number two, the faith community.
Right.
And what happens in that kind of world? See, it's very different. When you have the family, when you don't have that nanny state, you have to value your family relationships. Because if you fail, like in your business or whatever, who's going to help you? Your family is going to help you. Your parents, your grandparents may help you, your uncle may help you, your siblings may help you, your kids may help you if you're, they become essential. And so you have to, you're incentivizing those relationships. Those relationships have become very important in terms of your own security. So you can't just spit on people, you can't just disrespect, you can't burn bridges down. Whereas if you're from the nanny state, you don't have any of that moral education. You get your check even though you do terrible things to people around you. Also, the government doesn't know you when it gives you the check. The family knows you. The family knows the person they're going to give welfare to. They know the person, they know their situation, they know where they have to grow, and they don't just give it to them if they keep on, just being alcoholics and whatever. They fix the behavior. Say, hey, you gotta fix this behavior. You're gonna sleep on the tent tonight. Also, the faith community also does that. If a person doesn't have family, and their faith community then becomes that extended family. Again, but that faith community doesn't just hand out welfare checks. That faith community makes sure that person is growing with God. He's growing, or she is growing in their maturity and becoming able to stand on their own to fulfill all the potential God's given them. The government doesn't do that because they don't know the person. So you have all these, in a true freedom system, free society, you have what I refer to as true socialism. exemplified as Father taught it. You know, God, the family is a school of love. The family is where we have to learn how to take care of each other, etc. All those things, like the true desires, the good desires of socialists that they want to, you know, share and these kind of things and have, you know, equality. These kind of things, the true institutions to do that is the family. And of course, in the church community to help those in need. But it's not the role of government. When the government starts doing that, then you have all sorts of breakdown, because it incentivizes breakdowns and it switches the role. Just like Lucifer became Eve's husband, Walter Williams, who's an outside guy, saying government became the husband in the house. And with that, you have all sorts of terrible maladies that happen. If you're Satan, that's exactly what you would do. It's exactly the process you would use to destroy a great country. And that's the process which happens always. And this is why the principle is so incredible. Now what we can see, using it, we can see how Satan will break down freedom and turn it into his dominion of tyranny. Only principle can free the world now. See, that's what's amazing. Only principle. This was so exciting. It can explain what the true role of socialism is. It can explain what the true role of communism is. It can also explain what the true role of freedom is. And it can explain how then we can move forward in creating what Father refers to as the ideal, peaceful, free world. So that's why it's so exciting. And absolutely, we need for all members to be owners of this and to teach your friends about, tell your friends about, teach the PPT, and get into discussion groups and talk about these issues, understand them more clearly, and then get out there and spread in your community, because what an awesome way to learn principle. My God, we finally have a clarified answer on almost every political issue, which is so refreshing, finally. Yeah. I'm sorry to go on, but thank you. Thank you.